boy.
Oh God.
I don't know what my only crime was being happy. That's all I did.
I hate you. Holy shit, Danny.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gym Pack Zone, where I, James Gisanti, go over everything Impact Wrestling. Guys, this was a jam-packed episode with a lot of superstars, a lot of wrestling, and a lot of story progression. This is a new era of Impact as we have a new world champion in Motor City Machine Gun member Alex Shelley. It has been 20 years of Impact for Alex Shelley. It has been 20 years of grinding for this hardworking man, longer if we're going to be honest. And finally, he has made it to the top of the mountain, the top of Impact, and he is the new world champion. And what better way to celebrate being world champion than when you're with your best friend, tag team partner, and co-champion as new X Division champion, Chris Sabin, also getting a huge win at Against All Odds, was in the ring to celebrate their new status as champions. Chris Sabin as a 9-time X Division champion, and Alex Shelley as a new first-time world champion of Impact. It was a nice little moment between these two men who got to celebrate at the end of the pay-per-view together and are now ringing in the new episode of Impact as well. This was a sweet moment for me. I told you guys about it when I spoke about the pay-per-view last week. This was a long time coming and something that, if I'm going to be very honest with myself and honest with you guys, I wasn't expecting. I don't want to say I'm jaded as a wrestling fan, but I certainly was not expecting this fairy tale championship reign for Alex Shelley at this point in the game. But here we are. It's not a dream, as Chris Sabin said, because that night he had a dream. He had a dream that he was going to be a nine-time X Division champion. I promise that wasn't me. That was him doing that, but I have to do it too. He had a dream that he was going to be a 9-time X Division champion and that his best friend, Alex Shelley, was going to be the new Impact World Champion. And when he woke up the next day, it wasn't a dream. It was a dream come true. And it was a beautiful sentiment by Chris Sabin. Alex Shelley did, yup. That's his thing. He yups, and he yupped real good. And that's cool. That was great. He's not as poignant a promo right now, but that serves him well. But he did comment on all the wrestlers that he has helped mold. You know it. If you couldn't hear it the first 9 times and then the 10th time after that, I'll say it one more time just for you. 9-time X Division champion, Chris Sabin. But he talked about all the wrestlers that he's helped mold and who his influence has helped push to new heights just through style, just through work ethic, just through being in the ring together. People like the Young Bucks. People like you got enough out of me, you know it. People like the Young Bucks. People like Switchblade Jay White. People like Seth Rollins. And he said he was done waiting and watching other people climb up to the top, and he realized it was now his turn. Really love this for Shelley. Really love this for Sabin. Very excited to see what these two men do moving forward, and we don't have to wait too long because their celebration was interrupted by none other than Nick Aldis. Couldn't even really have 5 minutes to enjoy this title reign before Nick had to get involved, but that's fine. Nick Aldis tried singing the praises of the Motor City Machine Guns. Alex Shelley saying that when he was a newcomer in Impact in TNA years and years ago, and he didn't know the difference between a headlock and a headlight. That was a good line. Not going to lie. That was a good line. It was Alex Shelley who reached out his hand and helped guide a young Magnus, the Nick Aldis we know today, to being the superstar that he is and to being the champion that he was. And now that Alex Shelley is at his level, his words, not mine, his words, that was good. It got a good reaction from the crowd. He's looking forward to their match at Slammiversary. As you guys know, Nick Aldis is the number one contender because he won the 8-4-1 match. Good match, good concept. We've been through it. And now, as number one contender, we're all worried about Alex Shelley's title reign. None of us want this to be a transitional title reign. I don't think any of us are clamoring to see Nick Aldis as world champion, but that's fine. I didn't think Alex Shelley was going to get this far, so let's just enjoy it for what it is. But after Nick Aldis interrupts, we are then interrupted by Trey Miguel, who I've been singing Trey Miguel's praises, the former X Division champion who lost his championship to Chris Sabin at Against All Odds. I've been singing his praises for a while now. Ever since he had the heel turn, it has rejuvenated him. It has pushed him into new territory, and it's added flair and flavor to him that I think he desperately needed. And tonight's promo, he was so confident. He was so like snarky and shitty as a person, and it was beautiful. Between burping, saying that's what he felt after all the hot air that they were blowing up each other, complimenting each other, to drinking a bottle of water, crushing it with his foot, and then kicking it behind him, and then saying that's what janitors are for. God, this man is awful in all the best ways, and I loved it. A headlight lightens your way in the dark. A headlock puts you in the dark. That is, you should put that on a bumper sticker or a T-shirt. Either way, I'm digging it. You know it. But yeah, this he gets in the ring. He, he's not having. No, he doesn't actually. He's talking his crap when he's interrupted by Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. Kenny King saying that all these guys are just flapping their gums, but the only person who's making any sense is Trey Miguel. King, Jean, and Trey enter the ring. They're confronting the Motor City Machine Guns and Aldis when they're interrupted by Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, and Jay Vidal. Giselle said that these guys, meaning the heels, are speaking truth. That ever since Nick Aldis got here, they've rolled out the red carpet for him. Same thing for the Motor City Machine Guns. When Giselle knows that what everybody knows, that the spotlight should be on her. And she also mentioned how the red carpet was given out to Trinity. That brings Trinity out. Trinity gets involved, saying she's gonna confront her again, I guess. And then Jay Vidal, there was a whole lot of cattiness, there was a whole lot of messiness. And I say cattiness because Jay Vidal is just like the perfect mean girl sidekick, and it was just great. Threatened to slap Trinity again, but Trinity threatens to knock him out again. And this all brings out the Knockouts World Champion, Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo, who says that she is now 500 cumulative days as Knockouts Women's Champion. That is a hell of an accomplishment across 3 reigns for Deonna Purrazzo. That we all know the spotlight is on her. There's a lot of lights in this arena, guys. There's more than just one spotlight. She did. She really just did say things. Things. But she says she is the Knockouts World Champion. Trinity interrupts her and says, well, until Slammiversary. Ooh, girl. That's a lot. You're on the same side right now. Don't be picking a fight. But Nick Aldis agrees. There might be a lot of different things come Slammiversary, implying that he might be the new world champion come Slammiversary. All 10, 11 people are in each other's face when they are interrupted by Santino Marella, who says that he has a brilliant idea for a main event. It's going to be good guys versus bad guys. He didn't say it like that, but I'm going to streamline this a little bit. And that it's going to be a great main event, and he likes one side a little bit more. It's the good guy side. So we have our main event there as we get the baby faces, the new world champion, the new X Division champion, and the Knockouts champion versus past champions. No, not even past champions. Macklin's not in it. We will get to him, though. But a lot of challengers and a lot of enemies. Moving on, we have a backstage segment where the Design, who are, they're still bitter about their loss to OVE at Against All Odds. Diener, the leader of the Design, blames Alan Angels for not getting the job done. Alan Angels says he left the place he came from, AEW, because he didn't like how he was being treated there, and he doesn't like how he's being treated here now. He said he came here and did everything he was told to. He was a good soldier, and what does he get for it? A baseball bat to the face from Diener, who missed his shot at Against All Odds. Khan interrupts. He says this is what Sami Callihan wanted. He says they should let Impact know that this is their yard, this is their territory, and they're going to take what they want. I'm enjoying the fact that we're probably going to get a nice little story reset for the design. I'm not necessarily ready to see this group go, mainly just because I'm happy to see Alan Angels highlighted the way he has been. But we'll see what comes from this moving forward. We then had a one-on-one match between two former world champions, Moose and Rich Swann. These two men have competed many times over the last few years, as their most notable match, Rich Swann beating Moose to unify the Impact and TNA World Championships. This was an interesting match. Not a lot to say other than the fact that Swann picked up a much-needed win, and Moose is sort of in a tailspin a little bit. Ever since losing the world championship and then losing to Joe Hendry, he's been very much not directionless, but he has not been on an upward swing. The most we've seen him really gain traction is with Brian Myers and Matt Cardona, but that fell apart as he went for the world championship, leaving Myers to try and lead the Good Hands. We then get another backstage segment where Heath is talking about what's next for him, who earlier in the night on Before the Impact took out Champagne Singh and Shira as revenge for Rhino. Now that Rhino is out again, Heath needs to figure out what he's going to do. We then go back to Moose, who really must have toweled off very quickly as he's walking backstage and runs into Brian Myers. Myers says that he couldn't lead the Good Hands to a tag team championship win, but he does think that he and Moose could beat ABC for the tag titles. I don't want it because I love ABC, but they would be a very interesting team. We then have an in-ring segment as Bully Ray, a very emotionally distraught Bully Ray, is lamenting what Scott D'Amore did to him at the pay-per-view, which was cost him the 8-4-1 match as D'Amore hit him with a chair, setting up to be pile driven. I believe it was a pile driver. Bully has complained to both HR and upper management, and he demands answers. Scott D'Amore comes out, tells him that Bully got what he wanted. He did have to go before the board of directors for Anthem, and they recommended a leave of absence for him. This allows both men to square up to one another as Bully just keeps picking and picking and picking and demanding to be told that he was right and D'Amore was wrong, and that he got the upper hand on him. Eventually, that led to too much, and Macklin comes in and starts beating up D'Amore, as both men are just assaulting the president, or I guess the suspended president, or the leave of absence president, lame duck president, maybe. I don't know. That allows... We then get to a blacked out screen, a blacked out arena, and when the lights come back on, there is PCO to make the save. He takes multiple chair shots for his troubles, and then he still no-sells it because he is the French-Canadian Frankenstein. He clears the ring of Macklin. He softens up Bully Ray for Scott D'Amore to kick him in the face and get him out of the ring. D'Amore says, all due respect to Santino Marella, but it's been a long time since he's made a match, and he's going to make one last match before his leave of absence. He is going to make a tag team match of PCO and himself versus Scott D'Amore, versus Bully Ray and Steve Macklin. I am loving this. I have been loving this for months. I've been loving seeing Scott D'Amore getting physical in the ring with Bully Ray, and man, the guy could still go. He might have traded in his wrestling gear for a suit and tie a long time ago, but you could not tell with how this man moves in the ring. Backstage, Macklin rants to Bully that they've got to be worried about PCO. Bully asks him if he's a Marine. When he says yes, he says, act like it. He's just a man. We can take him. Both men are then confronted by Frankie Kazarian, who says they should know better than to attack management. As Bully and Macklin get ready to confront Kazarian, Kazarian is backed up by Eddie Edwards. Eddie, after driving the two men away, Eddie tells Kazarian that, they might not see eye to eye, but they're both students of Kowalski, and only they are allowed to beat each other up. Eddie, I would love to see this be a babyface turn for Eddie. I feel like he's been a heel for too long now, and I'm hoping it could be a very interesting tag team between these two Impact veterans, even though I know Kazarian does eye the World Championship quite often. Great, just what everybody needs. Another anti-AEW stan. Angels, I mean. I mean, Angels was always very open about the fact that he left AEW on good terms, but just simply because he wasn't being booked the way he wanted to be booked. I can respect that. Everybody has the right to say they have value, and they think if their value isn't being met where they are, to go chase after it. Downside, Vince is going to see this and start roiding up again. My God, please, I need you to just pretend this comment was never made. We're just going to ignore this because we don't need to will that into the universe. We then have a tag team match where the Decay meaning Black Taurus and Crazy Steve, take on the Impact Tag Team Champions, the ABC. The ABC are just the smoothest tag team in wrestling. For a team as new as they are, for a team that has as little experience teaming as they've had, they are just so smooth. Everything they do feels crisp. Everything they do feels like it flows beautifully. These two kids, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, I've been singing their praises for a long, long time, even prior to winning the tag team championships. And they've just found a winning formula. And that winning formula served them right as they successfully fended off the Decay. After the match, going through the back, they are met by the Motor City Machine Guns, and who congratulate them on still being the tag team champions and for their win. The champs say, if you guys aren't going to be tag team champions, we're very happy to carry them, and we're very happy to see the championships that they are carrying, meaning the X Division and World Championship. It very much seems like ABC are basically baby faces at this point. And I'm all for that. I don't know what that means for Bullet Club. I know they are still repping Bullet Club with the music and the gear and everything. But as I've been saying multiple times, both in our Dynamite Weekly reviews and here, they feel so far removed from Bullet Club that I don't know if it still rings true. Time will tell. I'd be happy to see what that means for them with Jay White in AEW and this new reformed Bullet Club in New Japan. But at the very least, even if they stay separate from the Bullet Club, ABC is the tag team to watch, and quite possibly the best tag team champions across any company. See, you know it, you got it. We just needed to get Matt Hardy in here. You killing it. We then go to a backstage interview where Gia Miller, is interviewing Bhupinder Gujjar. They're doing a diary episode for him next week on Access TV, and as they're hyping that up, they get interrupted by Dirty Dango. Dirty Dango says, who the hell would care to watch any documentary about Gujjar, who just sits in the locker room? Dango suggests they should make a documentary on his side of the business, outside of the ring, and as Gujjar leaves, Dango then criticizes Gia Miller, saying, I thought these backstage interview girls were supposed to be attractive. Those are fighting words. Gia Miller is a friend of this pod, even if she doesn't know it. Big fan of her here at the pod. She's the hardest working woman in Impact. So please, Dango, I love you. I don't want to make an enemy. Please, 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 please. Don't go after Gia Miller ever again. But moving on to the main event we had our 5-on-5 main event as we had the good guys, the world champion Alex Shelley, the X Division champion Chris Sabin, the Knockouts world champion Deonna Purrazzo, number one contender Nick Aldis, and number one contender Trinity taking on Trey Miguel, Kenny King, Sheldon Jean, Giselle Shaw, and Savannah Evans. This was a match. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything amazing. It wasn't anything bad. There were a lot of fun tag team spots. There were a lot of fun intergender little bits. Everybody served their role here well. The finish saw Alex Shelley, the new world champion, hitting Sheldon Jean with the shell shock for the win. And, you know, the world champion starting this reign off strong. Sheldon Jean doing what he does, taking pins. After the match, Shelley is looking to grab his championship, but Nick Aldis has it. He gets on one knee, bends the knee to Shelley, trying to present him with the championship. As he's about to hand it to him, he does the old switcheroo and hits him with the championship instead. He leaves the ring saying he shouldn't have disrespected him, meaning Shelley shouldn't have disrespected Aldis. He shouldn't have disrespected him, and they will see each other at Slammiversary as Sabin, Trinity, and Purrazzo are trying to revive a fallen Shelley. So we now have a heel Nick Aldis. I think the writing on the wall was there for a while that this was the right move for him because nobody cares about him as a babyface. Nobody. Doesn't matter what company he's in. He is a natural heel. He needs to play to those strengths. And I hope this doesn't mean Shelley is going to have one defense and that's it. But that was Impact, guys. They moved a lot of pieces tonight. A lot of pieces on the board have been moved forward. A lot of rivalries that we already knew were going to happen. A lot of matches that we already knew were going to happen have seen development. We are on the first night of the Alex Shelley Impact World Championship reign. I'm loving it so far. And I'm excited to see where we go from here. I don't know what you guys thought of it, but let me know. You know, Impact is consistently delivering an excellent product. I should note, on a behind-the-scenes note, Jimmy Jacobs, who you guys might know as the Zombie Princess, he was a mainstay in Ring of Honor during the early years of Ring of Honor. He was a former WWE backstage producer who moved over to Impact after he got fired for taking a picture with the Elite when they were visiting Raw a few years ago. He has been very instrumental in a lot of the backstage creative processes that we've seen Impact thrive under. He has now left Impact for AEW. Time will tell to see how big an impact this will have on the company. Time will tell if this is going to be damaging or if it's going to be a smooth transition. I can say Impact's loss is definitely AEW's gain, as he has a great mind for the business, has been a part of some very important things. He helped Chris Jericho create the list. He was very instrumental in the Chris Jericho-Kevin Owens storyline that went a few years ago in WWE. He helped shine a light on a young Tyler Black, who we now know today as Seth Rollins. Jimmy Jacobs is a valuable mind in wrestling. He will be missed in Impact, and he is going to offer a lot to AEW. So, yeah, that's Impact news this week. It's good stuff. I will be seeing Alex Shelley wrestling tomorrow live at House of Glory. He will be facing Montekia, and if Montekia can get a win over the Impact World Champion, he gets a future world title shot against Alex Shelley. Very excited to see that match tomorrow at House of Glory, as I am excited for every House of Glory event that I attend. I'll try to post some live stuff here on the on the YouTube page. If not, I will be posting a lot to our social media pages. Speaking of which, go give them a check. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. If you're probably watching it here, maybe too on Twitter. We have TikTok. We have everything. Go check us out. It's good stuff. But yep, guys, that's me. I am James Gisanti. As always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like on the video. Even if you didn't like it, I'll still take it. I'm not above it. I don't have a lot of self-respect. Give me a pity like. I'll take it. And if you want to keep watching, please give us a follow, subscribe to us. Your numbers are our numbers, and the bigger we are, the more love there is to share. Thank you for everything. I am James Gisanti, and as always, please. Oh, you know what? No Q&A time tonight. That's on Dynamite when Danny can moderate. But I'm looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday. But as always, watch Impact.